What's up, everyone? Real quick, before we get to the bingo, I gotta tell you, I'm going to be looking like this from now on. First off, it's winter, and second, you guys left me a lot of feedback on Reddit. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's this: no more Among Us in Warhammer. Which is why I decided to do a full character redesign with a classic old school vibe. The only problem is, how can I possibly get that done when 2026 is literally 6 days away? Unfortunately, I can't. But that's not going to stop us from doing the bingo, right? Alright, let's kick things off with an easy one. The secret of the 2nd and 11th Primarchs. Is this ever going to happen? No, never. Not in 2026, not in 2046. But there was no way I was leaving this one off the board. This is the holy grail for everyone who loves to homebrew their own Space Marine chapters. But hey, you never know. What if GW's sales take a serious nosedive? Like so bad that one of the lost Primarchs turns out to be a woman? Okay, for our second square, the Emperor becomes the 5th Chaos God. Now this is where it gets interesting. Will he become a full-fledged 5th God by 2026? Highly unlikely. That's a universe reboot level event. But will we get even more hints that he's no longer just a corpse on a throne, but a proper warp entity? Almost certainly, yes. They didn't bring Guilliman back for nothing. Maybe he'll start feeling his will again. Moving on to square number 3. A new big bad threat. Right now, the Tyranids are the galaxy's designated punching bags. By 2026, GW's marketing department will inevitably decide that someone else needs to threaten the galaxy. Maybe Vashtor will finally finish building his crazy superweapon. Maybe the orcs will kick off another massive invasion. The main threat is always just whoever's getting a new model range. That's a guaranteed yes. And for our fourth square, Ahriman almost reaches his goal. Notice the wording. Not reaches, but almost reaches. Ahriman is never allowed to win. His entire tragedy is the eternal chase. But will he lead another crusade to the Black Library, almost get inside, and then have it all blow up in his face at the last second because of some stupid mistake or Tzeentch just being Tzeentch? That's classic Ahriman. So yeah, we'll probably hear about it in 2026. What about Square 5? Another Loyalist Primarch returns. We got Guilliman, we got the Lion. The production line is officially running. Will they bring someone back in 2026? The chances are high. Ferris? Nah, he's missing a head. That's a tough sell for a new model. But Jagatai Khan, Lost in the Webway, or Vulcan, who can just respawn anywhere? My money's on the Khan. Let me know your pick in the comments. Square number 6 is all about Cypher's identity. Look, we all know his identity is Omegon. Just kidding. But seriously, no. Just no. Revealing Cypher's identity would kill the character, but dropping another contradictory clue just to keep fans arguing for another 10 years? Totally plausible. We'll get a scene where Cypher whispers, "I'm actually," right before he's cut off by a bolter round. I'm calling it 50-50. Next square, the King in yellow. Again, nobody is going to reveal his identity, but will this Lovecraftian meme pop up again somewhere to add some extra pathos and mystery? Absolutely. Most likely somewhere near the Custodes, because the theory that it's Valdor is still making the rounds. I'll give this a reluctant checkmark. Moving on. Rogal Dorn is alive? The Primarch who supposedly died a hero's death and all they found was his hand. A single hand? So you think they're just going to bring him back in one piece in 2026? Probably not. But will GW keep feeding him to us piece by piece, like holy relics for the next 20 years? We'll definitely get more hints about his strange disappearance. And here's a juicy one for number 9. The Grey Knight's Terminus Decree. This is something fans have been buzzing about recently. Turns out the Grey Knights have a big red button on Titan that says, "Do not push." But if they have to, their ultimate duty is to kill or reseal the Emperor on the Golden Throne if he tries to leave, be reborn, reincarnate, or ascend to godhood. The fact that GW just reminded us about this can't be a coincidence, right? I think something big is being set up for 2026. Square 10, a big one. The Emperor's deal on Moloch. The biggest skeleton in the Imperium's closet. Did the Emperor make a deal with the Chaos Gods to get the knowledge to create the Primarchs? Did he outsmart them? Or was he already powerful enough and this whole deal was just part of his plan to weaken Chaos? I think GW will never give a straight answer on this. Alright, what about the big mystery on Titan? Who's in the prison? So, who's locked up in the deepest hole in the universe? There are dozens of theories. One of the lost Primarchs, a shard of some entity from the War in Heaven, and a ton of other powerful, scary things. My prediction for 2026, we'll get a tiny hint. And I don't think it'll be one of the obvious candidates. Some Grey Knight will walk past the cell and hear a whisper, and everyone will be like, what? It's going to be something completely out of left field. For number 12, a personal favorite. The Alpha Legion was loyal all along. I just had to include this one. The ultimate question, are they traitors or loyalists? The answer is yes. In 2026, I guarantee one Alpha Legion warband will heroically save an entire sector, proving their loyalty. And then it'll turn out it was all a convoluted plan to screw over another Alpha Legion warband. The very essence of the Alpha Legion is this paradox. That's their whole gimmick. Next up, a classic theory. Tyranids were created by the Old Ones. This theory is older than some of you watching. The idea is that the Old Ones, having lost to the Necrons, created the Tyranids as a biological reset button for the galaxy. But we've already been told pretty much directly that the Pharos beacon blew up so hard, its light attracted the Tyranids from the intergalactic void like moths to a flame. So why is this theory still alive? Because some author will inevitably drop a subtle hint about it again. Burying this theory has become a tradition in itself. 14 is a guaranteed hit, a new imbalance weapon from the Omega Vault. GW's favorite plot device. Imagine an infinite warehouse where the Death Watch keeps the ultimate weapon against every single Xenos race. Got a Necron problem? Box number 10 has a universal Necron killer. Tyranid invasion? Hang on, let me grab the galaxy-sized bug spray. In 2026, when the next unbeatable threat brings the Imperium to its knees, some Death Watch master will grimly declare that it is time to open the vault. It's not a question of if, but when. 100% yes. And for our last official square, number 15. Cavill's show gets a trailer or release date. Now this, I believe, is the safest bet on the entire board. For Amazon to not release at least a teaser trailer or announce a release window by the end of 2026 would be a massive failure. So yeah, I'm confident that by then, we'll all be analyzing the first trailer frame by frame, arguing if the chapter symbol on some Marine's helmet is canon. 100% yes. And there we have it. My card is almost full, but one square is empty. And that's your move. Write your predictions for the final bingo square in the comments below. I'll add the most original and hilarious one to my board. We'll check back in a year and see who the best psycher is. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss what happens next.